Good morning, fellow Gooners, and welcome to today's Gunner Talk. Ooh na na, what's his name? Ooh na na, Emery. The Emery era is fully underway. I'm excited, guys. A few things from yesterday that I'm going to chat about. I was asking people yesterday what our top four ambitions are, if that's realistic or not. And I was surprised how negative a few of you are. I know some of our signings have been underwhelming, but look at if we'd have carried on under Arson and nothing had have happened. Would you be more underwhelmed? Yes, you would. We've tried to fill voids without bankrupting ourselves, and I think that's quite clever, and just keeps the project moving in the right direction. I know a lot of you would love for us to go out and sign De Gea, Varane, Koulibaly, whoever else, bloody Dembele, whoever. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not feasible. We all know Stan's tight, and he's controlling the purse strings. So we've got to look at what this guy's going to enable us to do, and I think we're doing an incredible job with what he's allowing us, and the amount of rope he's giving us. I think we're doing well, and I think the lads are pulling out all the stops. And I'm just a bit disappointed how negative a lot of you are. I think top four is a definite, realistic ambition. And if we're not going to hit top four, then we've got to be winning the Europa League, because I'll accept nothing less than getting Champions League again next year, and I'll be very disappointed if we don't. So just chin up, guys. Try and be a bit more positive. Yesterday, the game behind closed doors at Colney, I think that was another nail in the coffin of the old ITKs yesterday, because if a player's signing from Timbuktu, they'll tell you that they've watched every game of him play and exactly what type of player he is, but they can't tell you who the goal scorers were at a game under the noses yesterday. So it shows you half of these are just fucking chances and guesses, and they don't actually have any genuine contacts in the side of the club. I'm not in the know, and I bet you I know more people at Arsenal than the plug, fucking Moley, the Horse, Dino, and the rest of them. It's embarrassing, and I'm sick of seeing their fucking names on my timeline completely. It's beyond embarrassing that people think these are real human beings with any sort of credit at all. It's just embarrassing. The only thing I noticed from that when the actual goal scorers got put up yesterday was there was a nice spread of scorers. I think we're going to be heavy reliant on Ober and Laka banging the goals, and I expect 50 to 60 goals between the pair next year. And realistically, without being a bit of a knob and getting carried away. But if anything happens to either of one of those two, we're going to need the weight to be spread. So it's nice to see that the way we're playing, like the good old days, everybody's chipping in. And I'm really happy about that. That's nice to see early in pre-season. I know we've not had much competition yet, 8-0 and 9-0, but you've still got to play, you've still got to do it, you've still got to beat who's in front of you. So I thought that was a nice little thing to come out of that yesterday. Shame we've not been able to see any highlights or get any real match facts apart from the scorers and the scoreline, but hey ho, that's what we've got and that's what we can go off. Interesting things yesterday. Allison, loads of you flipping that Liverpool have signed him. I couldn't give a flying toot, to be honest, that they've signed him. 70 million quid, is that good value? No, not in my opinion. I think it's appalling value. Is he one of the best goalkeepers in the world? Not for me. He's not in the top. He could be in the top 20, top 15, maybe top 10, but he's not in the top 5, in my opinion. Not. He's done nothing to warrant it. So I don't know. I think it's odd. I think last year, if we'd have said to a lot of you lot, right, Arson's looking at a goalkeeper that's been a backup for a season to Chesney, was signed for €7 million or whatever, and has had one half decent season at Roma, where he also made some big clangers, and he's paying 70 million for him. I think a lot of you would want to torch the Emirates, so I think you've got to be more of a level-headed mindset. We've got Leno, that's the facts. They've got Allison. We've paid less than 20 million for Leno. They've paid nearly 70 for Allison. Is there 50 million difference between those two goalkeepers? Not in my opinion, not at all. Both could turn out to be flops, both could turn out to be brilliant, one or the other, vice versa, who knows, we'll see this year, but until we've seen that, I think people are losing the plot far too quickly. I've lost respect for Jurgen. His comments about I'm not a checkbook manager. Well, you are now, mate, and you're going to have to die on your shield. Live by the sword, die by the sword, mate. You've lost your morals. I'm sure most managers would do it. If I was a manager and I was struggling on on scraps, and then I was offered a war chest of unlimited funds, I'd go out and try and buy the best players in the world. So I can't hammer him for that. It's just sad that he's gone back on his morals, and now he's going to have to provide results, or it won't be good enough, and the Scousers will definitely want him out. Some have wanted him out already anyway. Ones that I talk to don't think he's much cop, pardon the pun, and neither do I, to be honest. I don't think he's that good a manager. So that's that one, guys. Just try and chill out a little bit. Another interesting thing I thought about yesterday, the old Ornacle. Where's he gone? He's disappeared off the face of the planet. Why? Because he's not getting any information that isn't fed to him anymore, that's other than directly at Arsenal. And if you look at the likes of Arsenic and other guys out there, you're going to get the information before he does, just by doing some research and sniffing out the little gold nuggets that are out there if you've got the time to find them. Like Torreira. Most of us knew about that before fucking Ornacle said anything. And I think he's losing his credit a little bit now. I'm used to seeing every day, every week, people, Ornacle, Arsenal news, Ornacle, Ornstein, Orne, this, that, the other. No one's doing it at the moment because I think everyone knows. You might as well. If you're going to wait for him to tweet something, you might as well wait for Arsenal to do it, because all he's going to do is wait for them to pull the thumb out of his arse and let him speak. So I thought that was a little interesting one yesterday. And is he becoming a little bit irrelevant and not so much a valid source of information on Arsenal anymore? I think so, and I felt like that from the start. A lad who I really enjoy following yesterday, I enjoy following him all the time, but yesterday he writes some great articles, new to it. If you don't follow him and you're on Twitter, it's @_Adam Keys. Read another one of his articles last night, this morning, can't think when, based on Coleman. I said there could be a little bit of a truth to it. He's managed to dig out an interview with him yesterday where he said whether it's us or anyone, he won't believe him. So I think we can cross him off the wish list. Sad, because I think he's an upgrade on what we've got, and he'd be a decent price as well, but I don't see that happening. I agree with everything Adam said yesterday, and if you're on Twitter, go and read his article. He's a lad who, rather than spouts nonsense to get likes and hits, he talks from the heart, and he talks with a lot of sense. So drop him a follow, guys, if you don't, because his articles are well worth reading, and I've enjoyed every single one. So yeah, I think that might be Coleman out the window. So we'll have to look for somebody else. Dembele. Something a little bit interesting I saw yesterday was that Barca have looked at the possibility of signing Hazard and maybe sending Dembele the other way. I don't think there's any truth to them actually being able to do that, because Hazard's come out himself and said there's only one place he want to go, and we all know where that is. That isn't Barcelona, it's Real Madrid. But what I did find interesting in it is that Barcelona might be willing, if they get a winger in, to let Dembele go out, and if he goes out on loan, which I think it would be, because most people would be having to look at a loan for him because he'd be priced out of buying him. As I've said before and stated my case, I think we'd be his most logical destination if he went out on loan, and I still believe that. So maybe it could happen, who knows. Let's watch this space. I think maybe that would completely rely on Chelsea, because if Hazard leaves, then would they allow Willian to leave as well? And if he goes to Barca, then maybe that window opens up for us, and something we could maybe look at doing. So that's one for me I'm going to keep a close eye on. And like I say, it's just nice to know that we're on the roundabout and on the merry-go-round that is these transfers at the minute. So that's an interesting one for me. The Singapore squad. No Martinez, but Cech's gone. I'm disappointed by that, but it could be for other reasons. So, yeah, that's one. No Mustafi, no Mavro. I'm not going to read into that, as some people have this morning, that it means Mustafi's getting sold. Well, does it mean Mavro's getting sold because he's not gone? No. So you're differentiating between the two. I just think it's because he wants to see whether Holding and Chambers can hold their own as a partnership, to be honest. And they're going to get a stern test in those games that we've got over there. So that's going to be great to see, and that can only benefit us. No Smith Rowe, no Willock. It seems like he's binned a lot of the young lads off for this one. I think which gives us a little bit of indication of how he sees his senior squad. So no Smith Rowe, no Willock, no Eddie, no Nelson, no Perez was disappointing for me. I really don't want to see this guy get sold, but maybe that's what Unai sees happening. Like I've said before, whatever Unai says, I'm on board with it. So yeah, into the squad, El Neni, Iwobi, Mesut. He will be going. So very interesting for me. That says to me maybe it's awkward at the minute because he's not had the. I think we'd know more and could read into it more if all of these lads had been available from day dot, which they haven't. So maybe it's just his. He's seen some of the other lads play. He's seen what they've got. Now he wants to see what these guys have got. I don't think you can read into it. It's a guarantee of who's staying or who's going. To be honest, nice to see Guendouzi and Ainsley are going. I think they're the two young players that are definitely going to be a big part of the squad this year. So it'll be great to see how they work as a little pairing in midfield if they get the chance. And one I'm excited to see in the Cup games, Europa next year. Definitely think they'll both be looking at 30 plus appearances. So that's a little bit interesting on the squad yesterday. And that's pretty much all I've got to talk about today, to be honest, guys. Yeah, that's it. That's it for transfers from what I've seen this morning. Bit of news. I think it's going to be a bit slow for us over the next couple of weeks. Because I think we're going to have to get players out before we get players in, which is what's been stated. Two that could be up for the chop. I think Welbs is, as I've stated numerous times now and gave valid reasons for, I think Welbs is going. I don't see any sense in keeping him. Don't think he offers much. And I'd much rather see the young lads get a crack than him. And while we can still get money for him, get it in, invest it in something else where they'd be a much better squad player or first team player. So I could see Welbs going. Monreal, I know a few of you disagree with me. I think he's bang average. I think we signed him and he was average, and I think he's remained average. It's a tricky one with him. Would I care if he stays or not really? He's another one where he's only got a year left, and he's not bobbing on a bit. So I think it'd make business sense and logical sense to ship them both now. Monreal's a bit of a different one because we've got the player who likes of Bramall, who could step in as Said's number 2. I keep saying that I want to see Said as number 1 this season because he's the future, Monreal's been the past, and he's going to be the one that takes us forward. Monreal won't be part of that, so maybe he's going to just, for what we could realistically get for Monreal, and what we'd have to put to genuinely replace him with someone with experience and not just a young player. I think maybe it might be worth just keeping him for one more year and letting him leave for nothing next year, and then letting Bramall step in his place if he's ready, and just loaning Bramall out this year, getting more game time in the Championship or lower level Prem. So it's definitely an interesting one at the minute. What I think's nice is that we're being proactive. We're not waiting till we're in the shit anymore. We're moving on stuff. As I pointed out the other day, we're not waiting to be backed into a corner. We're going to back other people into a corner, and if you're not going to make your mind up, we'll make it up for you, and I'm loving that at the minute. So I think it's very exciting, whereas in previous seasons we've all sort of been playing FIFA in our heads and Champ Manager, fantasy football, and guessing at what the squad will be, and I wish we'd get rid of this guy and this guy and bring in this guy and this guy and this guy. This season that's actually happening. I've never seen such a movement in players, shifting Deadwood, backroom staff, all a lot of it. It's incredible at the minute, and I think that's only going to continue over the next few weeks till the window's shut. So yeah, it's definitely one to keep an eye on, and I think you should definitely stay excited and don't get too downbeat. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Have a lovely day today, whatever day it is. Thursday, have a lovely Thursday. Come on you Gooners, chins up.